Have you ever been embarrassed in public? Or has something happened to you that you just said, I am never going to talk about this?
Yeah, there's one time I can recall.
Okay.
That, I was so embarrassed. I think I was about 14 or so, and I was at my mom's work, and she used to work at Arrowhead House. She was a social worker.
Okay.
And we were all in the dining area, and I was sitting with two of her male coworkers, and we were all sitting there having dinner, and I was kind of being snarky and because I knew who these coworkers of hers, she'd worked there for a while, and I'd made some sort of comment, and thinking I was razzing this guy and, really zinging him good, and getting him back and, leaned in and I popped a grape in my mouth and crunched down on it and spit across and got this guy right in the face. Oh, I was mortified. I mean, I was 14 years old. And I mean, I think it actually went right in his eye. Actually, it was. It was one of those really crunchy, fresh grapes. Crunched it, and oh my gosh, I was so mortified. I think I was laughing so hard I was crying. Laughing and crying and embarrassed and red. And my mom was sitting next to me, and she had been turned this way. And she turns back and she's like, "What is the matter with you? Why are you crying? What is going on?" I couldn't even tell her. And he was laughing so hard, and the other guy was laughing. Like, oh my God, I just want to die. Oh my gosh.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
I did that once. You remember the restaurant called the Town Crier?
Mm-hmm.
I did that at the Town Crier. My dad never, well, I shouldn't say never, rarely took us out to eat. Mm-hmm. And used that as an excuse after I bit one of those little cherry tomatoes and it went all over him.
All over your dad?
Yeah. And that was just a salad. So he had to sit there through the meal with tomato all up him.
Yeah, I wouldn't take you anymore either.
No. So my story doesn't necessarily have to be like embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be a part of it. And we don't really tell this story, all of us that were in the band. I was in a band, and it was sort of a Pink Floyd-ish sounding band, very experimental kind of thing. Great guitarist, great singer, great songwriter, and I was the keyboardist in the band. And we were in this bar in Nashville, and we were playing. A lot of drunk people, and we just happened to be playing this loud, obnoxious song, and a couple of the people in the front got a little wild. Mm-hmm. And bumped into my keyboard. Well, I was a little angry because they bumped into my keyboard and almost knocked it over and took me out. Now, if I'd gone out, I'd have taken the bass player's stuff out because he was kind of behind me here. Mm-hmm. So when they started leaning on my keyboard a little more and they got knocked into my keyboard, well, then I started pushing back, getting them away from my keyboard.
Yeah.
I pushed a guy into another guy. That guy wasn't happy that he got pushed into, so he started beating on that guy. Well, then his friend saw that and came over to his rescue and started beating on that. Well, then it's chain reaction started coming in. And we're all playing, watching this fight break out. And the first thing we all do is not try and like get to safety or anything. We're looking around for cameras. All of us, if you can imagine this band. We're like, because it was.
I didn't do that.
Right. Well, within 10 minutes, the bar owner said, I just called the cops. You guys quit fighting. He's trying to break it up. And we're like, whoa. So immediately, that was the fastest we ever took down our equipment.
And got out of there?
We pulled all the cords. I grabbed a drum in my keyboard and threw it under my arm. We ran out the door. We went back in for as much as we could. And we tried to get everything out and then threw it in our trunks and took off.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you even like through your set, or were you?
And as we're driving away, the police are pulling in. And we were so embarrassed. Everybody would say, "How'd the gig go?" "Oh yeah, we were beating it, man. We were pounding.
We knocked it out of the park."
Right. Never told anybody for the longest time that we were a part of this. Because, it got around. There was a band that was playing, and there was a fight that broke out. It might have been started by the band and everything. And we didn't want to be that band because we wanted other jobs. Because if the other bars found out that we were the band that we were a part of this infamous fight.
And it was all you.
It started with the keyboard player, yeah. So that
Wow.
I would have to say that's embarrassing because the more we heard about it, other bands would be like, yeah, this amateur band started a fight, and it got worse and worse and worse. And
Oh my
then
gosh.
they made it sound like we actually like threw our instruments down and actually jumped into the fight. I mean, the story got better,
Oh my gosh.
but
wow.
we never copped to the fact that it was us.
That's how rumors get going,
Yeah.
especially. Yeah.
We were so embarrassed that everybody was talking about it, and we were like, yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. So there's my embarrassing moment.
Oh, I knew you were trouble. Just by looking at you.